different styles of offense on display from these teams. As Colombia is about to receive this pull, we're going to get to see both Cardenas sisters starting out on offense for the first time this tournament.
So the crucial player here is Cartagena, gets involved already and asserts herself in the middle of the field.
The premier women's throwers in the entire world.
So just flips it over the top, looking for some options. Colombia, mercurial Colombia. Cardamil looking around the corner. Comes across here to Cardamil again, getting involved with a couple of little give and takes here at the moment. Ramirez, luckily with that one, back to Ramirez. Cartagena again, just opening up the options on the inside. Cardenas wanting to get involved, not at the moment. Both Cardenas sisters. The French captain trying to lay down the law. Cardenas comes away with it. Options forward now. Back across to Cardenas. Here's her sister. So the two Cardenas sisters getting involved early here as the rain starts to come back down here. Around the corner, that's looking really good, and it's Colombia away with the first.
Matching players and our women matching players, we got to see a handler weave early in the possession, with the man matching players looking to opportunistically offer cuts up the sidelines, and we get to see a Ramirez connection, taking advantage of Leo Stanguinek, whose hips were slightly out of position as he started that cut towards the end zone. Play was a game time decision based on a medical evaluation. It's great to see her back out there.
The big pull then from the Colombians floats down here and out.
And as Paul
Benvenien then looking over the top, nice. Little effort there to Bonnet. Down the line it comes. France looking for options infield. That's nice. Points Koloski there. Looking inside. Finds it and over the top, and France reply in a matter of moments. So
funnels him downfield, and Benvenien puts out that trust throw to space over the shoulder of Cantor. You see that Manuela Cardenas peels off the stack looking to help, but is unable to help on that expertly placed throw. Kwatsakolski gets more and more decisive, bigger cuts on the French side.
So here come the Colombian offensive combination then, having a crack. Cartagena now, as she does, setting things up on the inside. Cardenas alongside her. Across they come. Colombia looking for some options on the inside. Ramirez, Cardenas, Cartagena, and the Colombia just beginning to pack into the end zone. Cartagena going and having a look. There's three in there at the moment, and there they are.
Session illustrates just how great that replay. We got to see Gina Cartagena, how quick that flick release is, and she doesn't use a very big arm motion. She's able to fully extend her arm to get around Chloe Olivier's mark, leading Valeria Cardenas in. So you have to respect every motion she makes when you are defending her.
Ramirez gets us underway then. It's Colombia 2, France 1. Here comes the French attacking combination. They can't let this very talented Colombian team go too far, and this is going to be a very desperate lunge, and he gets
over this game as a receiver. I'm not sure the Colombian defenders have anything that can limit him as a receiver. He's so fast in a straight line. We got to see that set up. Benvenien just expertly waits that throw out in front of him. Look at that. I love how low Benvenien gets. He is, going downwind, putting a lot of spin on the release. Bonnet just
pump the disc downfield. The wind swirling here. Clouds beginning to gather now on the western side of the stadium. Let's hope that they stay away and it's just clearing. Cartagena off to Cardenas. Cartagena. Cardenas, Valerie Cardenas, that is. Alba. Options down the line. Beginning to feed into the end zone. Ramirez wanting some options. Comes across here to Ramirez.
Because the French defenders are staying tight to their Colombian matchups, when the Colombian cutters are kind of swirling around, they're causing picks, and the French defenders are close enough to call those picks and reset the offense.
So Anselin, the good captain, just wants some clarification there as the game gets underway. Cartagena then, after that little discussion, moves things around the corner. So looking good here. Ramirez. So once again, we get underway. Cartagena with all the time in the world, it would seem, although that count is just a little long. Well, but that's nice. Some backup there for the Colombians. They get out of trouble. Ramirez.
When France is able to stay, by them staying close, there is probably going to be a lot of calls.
Cartagena then looking for some options. 4 players up in the end zone at the moment. Around here to Cardenas. Cardenas looking for some options on the inside. Ramirez wants something, and he wants something fast. Can't get it at the moment. Cardenas goes, and Cartagena comes across herself.
Told me that we would have to wait until the 3rd game of pool play to see her dish an assist to Gina Cartagena. Like that, I've seen them connect for goals in this manner more times than I can count. I've had the luxury of being able to do a lot of Columbia Revolution games as a commentator. I've watched.
Feeling under the pump, or is this all part and parcel of the French?
I think it's one of the natures of self-officiation. You know, if different styles of play accept different amounts of physicality, they have to make those calls so they can come to an understanding about what is allowable between the 2 teams.
Bevenier looking for some assistance. Has found it. They're coming wide now, the French. Sokolowski backwards and forwards here with Bonnet. The pair of them just trying to get some angles happening. Bevenier moving this disc around. France just prepared to build it up. Lachey here with the strapping on the knee. Glad to see her out there. Bourneau long. Oh, and just eludes the flying Frenchman.
Kwiatkowski had to make a play at that point. If he had some more space at the back of the end zone, I do think he would have been able to get that. But he runs out of room, and he honestly makes a Herculean effort to grab this disc and get his foot down, unable to secure it. That's a tough turnover for France.
Colombia then come away with the disc now. What can they do with it? They've got to work heavily. Cantor on the field at the moment. Cardenas. Manuela Cardenas, that is, the number 8. Around the corner. Cortez, long. Looking very long, but elusive here for...
Grab it and get a goal yesterday. You know, that one was just, it was fading away from her, had too much pace, and she couldn't make a play.
So France then have another attacking opportunity. Sokolowski lays it off. Looking for some more options, France at the moment. Going good. Lachey in control. Sets up again. Over the top. Bonnet looking down the middle, intercepted, easily intercepted by the Colombians.
Bonnet was coming back towards the thrower and stopped his cut. That's unfortunate.
Gonzalez. Santos out there trying to give him some assistance as well. Cantor there. Cantor at the moment. Round the corner. In deep. Interference.
Rollet with a beautiful poach block. Wow. So clean.
Sokolski, pivotal at the moment. Looking for some more options. France trying to get into the end zone, and they do. So France.
She just reaches her hand in between two Colombian players. Look at that block. So clean. Wow, what a big play for the alternate who was called up at the last minute to replace Lison Borlée, being able to push through that fatigue and come up with that block.
Okay, Cartagena then got control of this attack for Colombia. And she's got some pretty heavy attention with her at the moment. Lachey really in the face. Cartagena just moving into some clear space at the moment. Means that...
So textbook. I think that she's also really good at maintaining that defensive buffer to stay in control of the matchup.
Big pull down there by Ramirez. Cartagena stretches, just misses. Turnover. France with the attacking option now. It's 3 apiece here in this all-important showdown between these two teams. It's Pool B action here at the World Games 2025 Chengdu. Forget making a move. This is long, this is ambitious, and this is successful.
Defender by Colombia. Let's get another look at this block first.
Brilliant.
Yeah, great read by Luzon, and Anselon, just, you can see how much spin and snap he gets behind that disc, and he puts it up with that outside in edge so that Royale.
So what can Colombia do as they come back here? Big roller. Cartagena then, setting them again. Ramirez, Cartagena. It's like a machine down there, this Colombian machine, this offensive side. Up they come. Cardamil lays it off to Cardenas. So Cardenas, Espina, Cardenas again, Manuela. Cartagena trying to get free. That's good. Around the corner, gets it to his sister. Now some options up front. Beginning to load up the red zone. Here comes Colombia through Cardamil. Cardenas. That's nice. Spina Gomez takes it. And that's good as well.
Leverage the talents of Manuela Cardenas on your defensive line. I mean, what a luxury, because their team is so deep. Let's go back to that grab by Alba. He really had to attack back toward, and they're able to make those adjustments mid-tournament.
Ramirez sends it downtown. France now with a chance to come back. It's 4 apiece here. 46 minutes left on the clock. It's the 4th of our matches here today, and it's a very important match. France is trying to work some magic here to decide who goes through and confront the USA in the semi-finals. France have completely rebuilt their team. Sokolski finds some space himself, but in the middle of the field.
There was a pit call. Leo Stangonek looking to attack deep by cutting through the middle of his vertical stack. Cantor calls a pick.
Whenever you're ready, setting 4.
France very heavy defensive at the moment. Just packing that midfield, not going too wide. Coming down the mid-channels. Colombia all over them. Here's the speculative. And it's a nice grab by the Colombians. They come away with it. France a little bit speculative there. Didn't need to do that. Ramirez interfering with things.
Earlier to give her a few stall counts to work.
Ferrero then looking for some options. Finds them on the inside. Santos got the disc. Needs something, needs some help. Finds it down the line. Gonzalez inside. Santos again. Cantor around the corner. And Cantor. Gonzalez. Cantor again. Gonzalez. 4 in the end zone. Does he want to go? Speculative. Not at this stage. Ferrero. 5 of the Colombians into the end zone now. Gonzalez. France pressing out. They go wide. Montana. Ferrero again. Just trying to get some combinations happening here. Great stuff by the Colombians, very creative on the inside. They've got options. They need more. Ferrero, wow, intercept, incredible.
Great block by Potsakolski.
And now France come away with this disc. But I think plays called back.
Self-officiating, having to make their own calls and override their teammates when they think they're incorrect.
Well, Ben Vanek was down there, and he's going to convert that.
Before Potsakolski got up, Lizon Borno just hustles to get down for the reset, and Stanguinek pushes out wide where there's lots of...
Okay, so Colombia want to turn this around now and get things even as they come up on half-time here. Cardenas around the corner. Ramirez P. Cartagena making some space midfield, and that's not good. He'll take the disc and now tries to set something up. He's got a couple of options way down in the end zone if he wants them, and here it is. Oh, and it's snatched out of the air. That is brilliant by Espina. So Colombia then can come away with this. They thwart the French. And that's a lunging, controlled catch there. Ramirez now. And once...
Espina didn't travel. I appreciate that retraction considerably in the booth.
Well, Valerie Cardenas trying to set something up here again. Cardamel comes around the corner to Santos.
There's a...
Isn't it?
Self-officiation is hard, Brendan. I mean, it's really hard.
So round the corner then, and just... Oh, but that is a brilliant recovery by Espina Gomez. Wow,
to make an adjustment. This throw from Cartagena, maybe a little bit higher than she wanted to, but expert adjustment after the initial misread by Alba. Alba's been at this stage before. He knows how to make this type of adjustment. Gets his hands underneath the rim of the disc. I've had to do a couple double takes as well.
Well, I'm heartened with your experience that you also can sometimes get confused. That's encouraging for me. Let's bring it down then, and the French then, Bevenier moving things along. Bonnet here wants some options. France trying to put something together here in the dying stages of this first half. Bonnet down the line. Comes across. Sokolski, Podkolowski. Bonnet again, just linking up here. Little high. Cantor in pursuit. Round the corner, that looks nice. Lachey on it, moves it downfield. France now just beginning to have a look at this end zone. Bevenier inside to Lachey. Bevenier again. Lachey getting free from Cardenas. Trying to break this Colombian defense down at the moment, but the French just getting a little caught up. More options now. Lachey again. And they're stacking into the end zone, the French. Here they are, just waiting for it, but the intercept is there.
I'm surprised we haven't seen France look to attack with more hucks. They've been so successful with that tactic.
Here comes Colombia then with opportunities. Cardenas on the inside. Plays it long. Gonzalez again. Cardenas making meters now, the Colombians. Putting the pressure on, knocking the French defense backwards. Good lunge there by Buller. And they have options here. And they took their time, but
her fakes. You can see right here, you get Paul Benvignon closing in. You get Tiffaine Lachey, and then you get a flying Chloe Valet. Just missed the disc, almost disrupted the catch for Ferrero. Oh, you can just tell how frustrated Chloe Valet is after that. Leads Elliot Bonnet downfield or Leo Stanguinek. Both of them are such just huge receivers in the deep space. Paul Benvignon kind of in his bag with those deep throws. I would love to see him put it deep to one of them.
Bevenier looking for some options. What Sokolski was there for a moment, but he just moves upfield. And this is nice, and this is long, and this is available for France. They bring it down, and that is very comfortable.
Some deep help, but Jimena Montaña is a great defender, but she's not going to be able to contend up in the air with Paul Benvignon. So he hesitated for a second. Paul Benvignon is pretty far downfield when that huck goes up. But again, if Stanguinek's going to miss, you want him to miss high so that Benvignon can track the disc. Lisa play on the disc. It was great heads up, just really good hustle play.
We got a bit of a match on our hands here, I think, because it's 6 apiece with 28 on the clock. And when the dying moments of the first half, these two teams at neck and neck. Team USA waits for them, the heart of a lot of these discussions. Okay, round the corner then. Here comes Ramirez O. Got some options. Nice. Up to Cardamil. Cardamil going very long. And who's on the end of this is Cartagena, but it's even too long.
He has a chance at it, but with that shape, that's going to be a turnover.
Well, France and Colombia battling out here. They want bragging rights at the end of the first half. Just consolidate the momentum that they're both trying to build here. And 6 apiece. They're moving France. They'd like to get this one and close out the first half if they could. This sprightly, creative Colombian team all over them at the moment. And again, another
isolation cuts. Not so many people swarming around the disc. It's really tough to maintain your defensive position in that type of setup.
Anselin lays it off here to Stenyanek down the line. And this is long, and this is ambitious, and that is very good, however, because she
play to break for half for France. You know, Lizon Bourneau, she's one of the most experienced mixed players on this team. I think she did a really good job of pushing Cannamil into the middle of the field. You see how she kind of adjusts her line? And so she's able to track it and keep the defender.
Well, here comes the big pull, and we're into the second half of the World Games 2025 here in Chengdu. Ultimate disc action. France attacking. Can get a margin of 2 here if they can put this together. Looking for some options in field. Bevenier. Skolowski looking for some options inside. Bevenier again. Happy to concede a little bit of territory just to get things sorted here at the moment. Bonnet gets involved in the action. On the outside. Looking good at the moment. France just slowly building. Just wondering whether this is another little confrontation here. Valet gets it away. Bonnet helping out. Bonnet over the top. Just down the side he goes. Bevenier looking for some options inside. Bonnet is it. France beginning up to move up into the red zone. Roulet wants somebody to help out. Got somebody. None other than this guy. Bevenier. Over the top he goes. And this is nice. Quick hands by the French. Giving options. Bonnet. And he's there. And that's nice. What?
Stangunek. Leo Stangunek looking, I think we've seen him in the backfield more this game than I think I've ever seen him play. Sorry, that was Bonnet who threw that assist to Stangunek, but Stangunek pulls his defender out of the space, able to get him to turn his hips. A nice, very clear when someone was open and when they needed to look to a reset.
Okay, Colombia then. France away. They've got a 2-goal break here on the Colombians at the moment. Here comes Cardenas. Cardamil looking for some options on the inside. Gets them nicely. Ramirez, P. Looking inside. Around the corner. Deflection. And a spinner there.
Made this signal for a foul. And, you know, I don't disagree that there was some contact on the...
And we're underway. Around the corner, so eventually then Colombia...
About that, just because the receiver had stopped his cut, you know, Ospina got the opportunity to kind of survey the different matchups, seeing that Mapa Santos was beating Zoe Froger up line.
Semis, those tomorrow.
You know, I'm gonna highlight the fact, just to remind folks, that France is playing without Sullivan Robles, who sustained a knee injury yesterday, which has considerably changed the amount of play time that Elliot Bonnet and Leo Stangunek have had to take on today, playing both ways for this French team, very consistently, playing a lot of back-to-back points.
So here come the French again. Stangunek making some inroads. Cardenas right up there. The defense from Colombia now really all over them. Manuela Cardenas not going away at all. Valet around the corner. Long options here. Brilliant. Got to write this right.
Yeah, Elliot Bonnet seeing that Sasha Płatzakolski had some steps going up the breakside sideline. Unfortunately, I would say Paul Benvignon was also stretching the field at the same time and kind of brought his defender into the space, because Płatzakolski was definitely beating his defender.
On the sideline, marshalling. Lots of support on the sideline for this French team. Colombia then coming back. Here's the big Colombian O. Cardenas. Cartagena. Wild, but saved. Incredible there. Amazing work by the...
So I think the call was off disc and it didn't impact Ramirez getting the disc.
Candamil Play resumes. Cartagena got to start moving. Start marshalling this team now. She does. Cartagena giving her options up front. Ospina looks inside. Across they come once more. Alba here. Looking over the top. Options inside. Ramirez. Where's he going? Colombia going wide, and they'll take the...
That was just a classic end zone possession. You get that skinny inside break. You see Valeria Cardenas attack Chloe Olivier's hips, gets her completely turned around, gets the disc, and then Alba is just able to, has so much space to go for a very easy against them. And for all of these players, they have some really signature ways of getting open and some throwing techniques that I would like them to get many reps against the same player so they can learn those little quirks and those strengths that they have.
So here comes France then, trying to get double figures on the scoreboard. They would love to come away. Lashy goes inside. Downfield, looking for options. Benvenier, nice, over the top. Nothing too flashy at the moment. Stenyanek, nicely over the top. Bourneau, looking inside. Benvenier. Clock is ticking.
26.
Benvenier wanting his disc space that he's entitled to as the thrower.
Lucky, France complete control here. So over they come. Lashy goes sideways. And coming back under the advantage line. Pedaling backwards at the moment, the Colombian defense.
Consistently making the calls about what physicality he wants to accept.
Oh, this is long, and this is good, and this is France. And
So at the World Ultimate Championships in Australia last year, Chloe was one of the leading assists, or she was the assist leader for the women's division, and a very talismanic thrower for the French women's ultimate team. And we haven't really get to see her get in her bag as a thrower yet this tournament. I love the timing of that.
really, I'm not seeing quite as much as I might have expected in a match like this.
No, I think they're trying to let her help a lot more on defense. They're really worried about the French deep game, and you see her helping off the back of the vertical stack.
Cartagena, once again, another stoppage here. Anselin having a little bit to say. Cartagena over the top, around the corner, looks good. Cardamil will... They just came together there momentarily.
And you mentioned the wet turf earlier this game, Brendan. I do think it's still quite wet. It's so humid here after that rainstorm.
Oh, lunging, but saved by Santos. So they're still alive, Colombia. They're going to have to start converting some of these opportunities soon. Cardenas marshalling the... So reset then. And once again, Colombia come away with it after...
Saying that Chloe Olivier initiated contact.
Well, we're back on action again. Santos with the disc. Cardenas and once.
So it's kind of more likely to happen with this style of offense until they're able to get that tempo going and get in rhythm with each other.
Well, I think Colombia will feel aggrieved that a number of these stoppages have been instigated by the French team here, but nevertheless they push on. Cartagena here, got to do something magic. Down the line they come. Cartagena overlap inside. Ramirez P wants something. Give go here. Cardenas with him. Over the top. Cartagena around the side. That'll do it. So they eventually are.
I want to highlight that Lizzo Bourneau right here on camera maybe had an opportunity to call a pick and didn't. You know, I think that we've seen with that kind of ticky-tacky nature of what's been going on in this game, like that was a great decision to not make that call. It didn't impact the play. We got to see another one of those, you know, Gina
a termination of this game at some stage, Robin.
Honestly, I don't know if I want it to end. I don't want there to be more calls. I don't want it to slow down. but I want to see these teams continue to battle it out. It's been such a fun game.
So here comes France in O. They'd like to get another one here. Just try and put this plucky Colombian side to the sword. Just making some options around the back. Nice work here. Stenyanek looks inside. Again, some checking there. Bevenier. Stenyanek goes long. Looks good. Sokolski. What Sokolski? Round the corner. French just happy to patiently build up the rhythm and the momentum.
Up by Manuela Cardenas. Wasn't sure if you'd be able to see that off screen, but it was resolved very quickly.
France lucky to get that one. Stenyanek now having to make some moves. They come well back behind the advantage line. France happy and patient. Just
you cannot do that in Ultimate. You cannot intentionally pick your defender the way you can in basketball.
the slow build up by the French continues. They lead 10-9 at the moment. There's 3 minutes 45 left on the clock. Colombian defense is absolutely all over them at the moment. What can Lashy do? Tries to break away. Sokolski on the inside. The Colombian has gone down. Lashy helps her opponent to her feet. Play continues. France in attack around the corner. Bonnet here. The number of phases they've gone through in this offense. Bobbles controlled by Bonnet. Sokolski here looking for some options. France slowly moving up into the red zone. Boy, they've worked hard. Stenyanek. Patient work by the French. Colombia pressing still in another stoppage.
The French offense seems to be a little bit more patient. There are too many people cutting. It's really hard for them to see who's being isolated.
Stenyanek then, got some options. Midfield goes there. France now clattering into the end zone. Stenyanek over the top will receive that one from the pass. Inside, midfield, options both ways. And a fumble right on the line by Lachey. Denies France the opportunity after all that work. So Cardenas, Manuela, is this her time to shine? Knocks it out wide.
And you can just see how, like, you guys can't see this at home, but we can up in the booth. Everyone is just doubled over trying to catch their breath during every stoppage. This marathon point continues.
Montagna trying to do something here. Cardenas slips over in the background. Still very wet after that rain shower earlier on. Colombia looking for some angles. Getting them, going wide. They're releasing down into the red zone, the Colombians. They're going to have to be bold to go there at the moment. Cardenas stuck in midfield, and here it comes. It's the big high to Ramirez. He's alone.
Such a creative thrower. She was able to find Ramirez as a bailout. I think Lachey was trying to jump the disc into the end zone before she was able to catch it. And Ramirez, seeing the stall count rising, catching his matchup, kind of sleeping a little bit, attacks deep.
And
you can see how much space she has on that that camera angle.
And it's bold though, you know, when a champion steps up. So 2 points away from one of these teams getting into the semi-final against Germany, and that is wide. What an extraordinary phase of play we just witnessed earlier on there, Robin. I mean, it's
13 to Colombia's 14 due to that injury to Sullivan Roble.
okay, into this beautiful evening here in Chengdu. Colombia and France continue to do battle in this ultimate, and boy, that's risky stuff there. But Bevignier, good enough to get on the end of
Any other player on this French team having to kind of put up some trust throws and just guess where her reset wants to go.
So how methodical will France be in this offensive bid by them? Around the corner, Bevignac again is the target. Running hard, Bonnet now into the setup. Around the corner he goes. And once again, we have to resolve. So Bonnet then has the disc. Round the corner she goes. Bevignac offering himself on the outside. She doesn't go there. Bonnet again getting involved here. Needs some help. Gets it. Aggressive. Feint there by Senyanek. Bourneau. Again, not coming up over the advantage line at the moment, but France just beginning to move some people up into the red zone now. That's handy. The Colombians pressing hard, looking for some moves on the inside. Bonnet here, what's he got? Got some options. Bevignier, and again.
French offense, you can't even tell what set they're running because everyone's just running in circles. We need more patience and less cutting.
France trying to do something magic here. And again, there's more contact. Sidelines, the audience enthralled. We are as well. Stoppages are plenty here. France is trying to put something together. This patient build-up of theirs. Now they're into the end zone. Now they have some options, but where are those options? Colombia just streaming in all over the top of them. And another stoppage.
What does not go down to when...
I think this illustrates the complexity of self-officiation, right? When you get tired and these games get so important, it's really hard to just keep that level head, have calm discussions, and sometimes that means that you need to have more conversation, take a breath, it'll extend those stoppages, but both teams are, for the most part, I think, handling these conversations very well.
And was that it? Not sure whether it was. The French are celebrating.
It was a clap catch. You'll get to see this angle is great, and keep that back foot down.
He does.
That was
you were right, Robin.
Really, really nice footwork by Leo Stanguinek.
Well, there it is then. So the French, after that,
managing their emotions in this high-stakes moment.
Well, let's see what happens, because Colombia now have got to come back and they've got to convert this opportunity against France. Because if they don't, it's France going through to Team USA. And oh my goodness, when the rough going gets tough, the great get going. And look at that. Cardenas flew into that pass. She had to. Where we were, Cardenas, Colombia, they need to convert this opportunity. They have the disc, but they trail France by one. Down the line they come to her sister, Valerie, inside. Ramirez looking for options already now into the red zone, and that's nice for Colombia. Ramirez, Cardenas looking inside, goes to her sister. She'll try and make some room, surely. She does, opens it up, comes midfield. Colombia now storming into the end zone. You can see them just lining up. Cardamil is in there. They're all in there. Cartagena is in there, but is that a French? It is. They've dispossessed them. Ancelin goes for the big Hike downfield. France are coming away with it. There's a big break on. Cartagena trying to get in his face. Inside, the man that started this off, the talisman of the French team, Ancelin, late in the game. France leading 11-10. They've got to close it out here. They get their semi-final place if they do. Ancelin, the key to this perhaps for France. Over the top, it's wild, it's big, and it's not delivered. Colombia live again.
That the players are looking at the replay before they have their conversation. We get to see Leo Stanguinic attack up in the air. And I don't agree with this foul call. Here's the thing is we have such limited replay angles that we can see. So it's really tough up here to see the amount of contact that happens.
Upshot is that Ancelin had that second bite of the cherry. Look at Condensé all over her at the moment, trying to get some action here for Colombia. It's desperate. It's dying moments of this intriguing battle between these two teams. Ancelin again, settling. Will he go over the top again? No, he doesn't. Slows it down. France toying at the moment. Stanguinic now. What can he do? Fewer options. Great work. France pushing hard. Colombia coming up over the top. Brave by the French. Blanc. And Forget loses it. Forget cannot hold on. Blanc gets it and sends her into the end zone. Forget drops it.
You know, what a great catch. You can see, though, that Zoe Forget's elbow hits the ground. You know, that happens way more often than you would think. You know, like you kind of just, you get the nerve of your elbow and it makes you lose your grip.
So back to basics for France. Colombia again. Ability of Cartagena to try and get this machine rolling down this 100 meters now, to pull up alongside the French and send it into sudden death or universal point. Oh, desperate stuff now. Deep into this wonderful showdown between these two wonderful ultimate teams. Here comes Colombia. Cardenas, what can she do? Ramirez looking for options, goes inside. Why wouldn't he? And again,
Ancelin's kind of kicking himself for stopping play without hearing the verbal play call.
Cartagena then trying to set something up in this dying light here. Over the top, and there it is. Gets into the end zone. It's 11 apiece, Robin.
And so now we're gonna have our universe point. Lisanne Bourneau left Valeri.
All of a sudden, in the last 15 minutes, the last stanza of this, Cardenas, the number 8, is beginning to assert herself. So there's the big pull. Here comes the French O. Can they convert their opportunities now? And at times frustrating. Bebinier has control here. Colombia all over him. Needs some options. Comes down here to the near side. Valet goes around the corner. Bebinier has to go cross field. Colombia in his face at the moment. Back into the end zone. Oh, lucky save. Real lucky for France. Could that be the difference? Could that be the difference? This is a monster here. It's all on the fly, and that's an incredible get. An incredible get by Bonnet. What an end. What an end to an incredible showdown. France, in the last desperate lunge, pull off a memorable victory against Colombia. It's France 12, Colombia 11, France through to USA semi-final.
You know, if you're France, you need to be thanking the likes of Lisanne Bourneau for saving that reset pass and immediately getting it back to Paul Benjamin. You see, he just winds up this massive backhand. Elliot Bonnet was not even in position. Ramirez was out in front of him. Bonnet gets up, but Ramirez had position, and what an excellent read for Rain to just get that next generation ready to step up into this.
Canada earlier on the day as well, finishing off a clean sweep of their qualifying matches with